All right, should be starting up now. What's going on, guys? Have a kind of crazy 7 game slate to talk about. A lot has changed in the past hour. We have a lot of news to go over. So we'll kind of keep the same schedule, right? We'll go over what we know so far. We can look at Vegas, the Vegas numbers. We can talk about kind of a game-by-game breakdown, who the players I'm targeting, and I can give you guys a core for cash games at the end, and then I'll answer questions as well. So, all right, let's start at the top here with Luka Doncic now playing, and we also have Kristaps Porzingis resting. So now it's a complete flip-flop, right? In my video, I was like, if Luka's out, I love Porzingis. Now we have Porzingis out, Luka's in. I love Luka. He's my top spend up of the day for sure. There's no. I don't think you get away from him in cash games. I think you play him and move on. For GPPs, there's obviously pivots, right? Trae Young at a pretty much the exact same price point and a great matchup. So that would probably be my direct pivot if I'm looking to get off of a chalky Luka Doncic. But cash games, I think you play Luka and you move on. Aldridge didn't participate in shoot around. He actually just got ruled out. Aaron Gordon, questionable. He also got ruled out. We'll talk about some Orlando guys here in a bit. I really like Vucevic now. Him and Jonas Valanciunas, I think, are my top 2 center plays. We got Zach LaVine doubtful. That's huge. He was playing 35-plus minutes a game. He was their highest usage guy, obviously. So there is a ton of minutes and usage to go around. I think Kobe White, probably my favorite play there in Chicago. Otto Porter will play. Going to be limited to about 15, 20 minutes. No interest there for me. Again, Kristaps ruled out. I love Luka. Also, we have Seth Curry questionable. That is pretty big news. Seth Curry is playing big minutes. If he can't go, you could make an argument for a guy like DeLon Wright or JJ Barea as punt options. We have Drummond doubtful now, and I believe he just got ruled out. So Kevin Love, Larry Nance are going to have to play huge minutes. I prefer Larry Nance for the price point. Larry Nance is also going to be really chalky for cash games. He's also a guy that I'm going to be looking to, though. I think Ante Zizic gets in the rotation as well. Let's see. Aldridge ruled out. Aaron Gordon ruled out. Magic are starting James Ennis and Gary Clark. He's min-price. He's starting at the 4. They said they're going to use a 9-man rotation still. So I think, guys like Ennis and Clark are actually viable punt options. You're really not going to feel great about it. But I think we probably get at least 20 minutes from Clark and probably at least 25 from Ennis. So those are 2 value guys you can look to for sure in a good matchup there against Portland. Cavs are starting Sexton, Porter Jr., Osman, Nance, and Love. Sexton and Love are guys that are okay, but my main interest here is Nance, and then I have some interest in Porter Jr. as well. Again, Drummond. Let's see. Bruno Fernando. Looks like Cam Reddish doubtful too, so Bruno Fernando might pick up the start there. Oladipo out makes the Holiday brothers a little bit more interesting. And let's see, Otto Porter will play off the bench. Denzel Valentine will start for the injured Zach LaVine. I mean, he's a viable punt option. I actually don't know what his price is. I have to look that up. But, all right, like I said, there's a lot of stuff to go over here. Let's take a look at some Vegas numbers. We have the Rockets next, 231.5. The Rockets are 10.5-point favorites. We have the Blazers and the Magic sitting at 220.5. The Magic are 6.5-point favorites. Jazz, Cavs, 222. The Jazz are 10.5-point favorites with the Grizzlies and the Hawks, 240.5 over under. The Hawks are 2-point favorites. I like the game a lot. I know it's going to be popular, but for GPPs, I really like that build of like John Morant, Dylan Brooks, Jonas Valanciunas, run it back with Trae Young. Dallas, Chicago sitting at 221.5. The Mavs are 7-point favorites. We have the Pacers and the Spurs, 221 over under. The Pacers are 3-point favorites, and then that's it. That rounds it out. Denzel flat minimum. Okay, I mean, yeah, Denzel is very viable. But let's talk about the first game here with the Rockets and the Knicks. So, these Rockets guys, the way their prices are right now, they're more GBP plays for me. Just the way roster construction goes, I really want to get to those 2 centers, and Jonas Valanciunas and Nikola Vucevic. I really want to get to Luka Doncic. So, me prioritizing those spend-ups makes it near impossible for me to get to either Harden or Westbrook. Now, I'm definitely scared about fading both these guys, and I think they are very much in play for GPPs. Love their upside. I just give the edge to Luka over them with no Porzingis. I think Luka's the safer play. Now, again, both Harden and Westbrook have huge upside. It's a great matchup. There is some blowout risk for sure. So definitely in play for GPPs. Just don't think they fit the ideal cash game build. Robert Covington also viable as well at 6.2. His price tag makes it a little bit tricky to get to him, but those three guys I have interest in for GPPs for sure. Those top three guys. Other than that, I don't think I get to these value options. I think there's better options in the slate. So that really does it for Houston. Let's talk about the Knicks. So the Knicks, Randall at 7.7, more of just a GPP play. He can definitely have upside in a game like this. But again, the guys I'm prioritizing are Luka Doncic, I'm prioritizing Jonas Valanciunas, and I'm prioritizing Nikola Vucevic. So for cash games, at least, it makes it a little bit tricky. Now, these guys are definitely not out of play for 100%. I like Randall a good amount for GPPs. I like Alfred Payton a good amount for GPPs. Both these guys have upside in a really fast-paced game. We know Houston plays very, very fast. So those are two guys that, you could run a mini game stack for GPPs, run like Alfred Payton, Randall, even Mitchell Robinson I talked about. I have a good amount of interest in him for GPPs. I just don't think I'd go there for cash games. But the minutes, 30, 32, and 29. He's playing huge minutes. He's doing a better job staying out of foul trouble. And he's been really productive. So I have a lot of interest in Mitchell Robinson for GPPs. I don't know if I get there for cash games just because I prefer Valanciunas. I prefer Vucevic for cash. But for GPPs, Mitchell Robinson is up there as one of the top plays in my opinion. So I have a good amount of interest in Mitchell Robinson. Again, I don't mind Payton or Randall either. The other options on this team, I don't think I get to Barrett or Bobby Portis. Mo Harkless, you can make an argument at 3.5 as a guy you can take a shot on to save some money. But that really rounds it out for the Knicks. So again, this game in general, I don't think I get to anyone in cash games. But for GPPs, those top guys in the Rockets, 100%. And then those three guys in the Knicks I talked about with Randall, with Payton, especially with Mitchell Robinson, who has flashed a lot of upside here recently. Let's talk about Portland and Orlando. Whiteside, again, I'm not going to get to him with those two centers that I like a lot more. CJ 9.3, I think is going to go very low owned. I think he is still in play for GPPs. But again, it's Luka, it's JV, it's Vucevic for me for cash games. So I'm not going to get to CJ for cash. Definitely viable for GPPs. He has huge upside with no Lillard. He's playing huge minutes, shooting the ball a ton. I know the matchup's not really great, but I still have a good amount of interest in CJ there for GPPs. I'm not going to get to Melo on the slate, not going to get to Reeser or Gary Trent Jr. So really my main interest there is just CJ McCollum, and that's about it. Let's talk about Orlando now. So Orlando, I love Vucevic at 8.4. And for cash games, I'm starting my lineup with Vucevic. I'm starting my lineup with Jonas Valanciunas. I'm starting my lineup with Luka Doncic. Love the safety in all three of those guys with no Aaron Gordon in a great matchup here against Portland. He did have an off game there against San Antonio. Doesn't really worry me. Before that, he's been super, super safe, super consistent with a high usage guy like Aaron Gordon out of the offense and a low usage guy like Gary Clark and a low usage guy like James Ennis in the offense. I love Vucevic. He's going to have to do it all. He is one of my favorite plays of the day there at 8.4K. Other options, Fournier and Ross and Markel Fultz will have to do more offensively with no Aaron Gordon. I think those guys are still in play for GPPs, but I'm not going to get there for cash games. There's just better options, in my opinion, for cash. But for GPPs, like Terrence Ross has been playing huge minutes. 34 and 33 last couple games. My issue with him is he is scoring dependent, but he's been playing great basketball. It's a good matchup. I have a good amount of interest in Ross there for GPPs. I don't know if I get there for cash. Fultz and Fournier are fine as well. Again, they're going to have to do more offensively. As far as the really cheap options, like James Ennis at 3.9, he probably gets about 25, maybe 30 minutes. He's a guy you can take a shot on under 4K for value. I don't hate that. Even don't hate the idea of going to Gary Clark. If we can get about like 20 to 25 minutes from him, I think he can get you like 15, 20 fantasy points. So he's a punt option for sure. You're really not going to feel great, but the Magic said they're going to run a 9-man rotation, so I don't think he's going to start and play like 10 minutes, right? I think we probably get at least 20 from him. And that really does it for Orlando. Like Michael Carter-Williams and DJ Augustine will be in this rotation. You could actually make an argument for these guys. Maybe the minutes go up. Maybe they run a little bit more 3-guard rotations. I don't hate taking a shot on like Augustine or Carter-Williams for GPPs. It's just they haven't really seen the huge minutes. But again, I think those minutes go up a little bit. So these are two guys I actually have some interest in, but more of just dart throws for GPPs. And I think that does it. Let me check Fantasy Lab, see if we got more info. Again, I want to try to keep up to date here so I'm not missing anything. Bulls will start Sandra Ramsey, Valentine, Shaq Harrison, Thad Young, and Carter Jr. All right. So we'll talk about Chicago here in a bit. Let's talk about Utah and Cleveland now. On the Utah side, honestly, not a whole lot I'm super interested. I think my favorite play would be Mike Conley there at 5.4K, just because he's probably going to get about 30 or so minutes. It's a good matchup, but I don't know if I'm going to get to him right now. I do have interest in Conley. I think he is in play for cash games as well as GPPs. But you got like Kobe White at a similar price. I think I prefer Kobe White. You have Dylan Brooks at a similar price. I think I prefer Dylan Brooks. Now, I still have interest in Mike Conley, but I think he's like right below those guys. And Mitchell Gobert, but you just don't have to do it for cash games. There's no way I'm getting to these guys with the guys I've already listed. Again, Luka, JV, Nikola Vucevic. There's just no way I'm getting to Mitchell or Gobert for cash games. For GPPs, sure, you can make an argument. It's a good matchup. It's just not going to be the way that I go on this slate. I think that does it for Utah. Honestly, I don't have a whole lot of interest. I think my favorite play there is Mike Conley. On the Cleveland side, so now we got a little bit more to talk about. No Drummond, no Tristan Thompson. So they're going to start Kevin Love at the 5, Nance at the 4. Either way, both those guys should see big minutes. I prefer Nance for the 2K discount. We probably get at least 30 minutes. My best guess is he plays 35 minutes. I know it's not really the best matchup, but this is a guy that fills up the peripheral stats. So I really like Larry Nance here at this price. He's also one of my favorite plays of the day, even in a tough spot. You can make an argument for Kevin Love. Kevin Love's more contrarian. I think he's more of a GPP pivot. Cash games, I think Nance is the play. Love, definitely in play for GPPs. Both those guys should play big minutes. I think they're going to dust off Ante Zizic. He'll probably get some run off the bench, kind of backup 4 or backup 5, I should say. He probably gets 15 to 20-ish minutes. More of just a dart throw, really. Nothing I'm really getting to for cash games. Let's see. Other options, Kevin Porter Jr. with no Darius Garland is going to start. He probably gets about 30 or 35 minutes. I think he's a solid option. I prefer Larry Nance on the same team, but I think Kevin Porter Jr. would be my second favorite play here on the Cavs. Not going to get to Sexton at his price. I just prefer the other plays here in Cleveland. And I'm not going to get to Osman either at that price. Again, I prefer Nance. I prefer Kevin Porter Jr. I like Kevin Love as a pivot for GPPs. So that really does it. Milwaukee, Miami, let's move on here. We have Chris Middleton playing. That is a slight downgrade to Giannis. That definitely takes the value plays out of play for me for Milwaukee. Now, Giannis is a guy that makes for an interesting contrarian play. I don't think a lot of people play him. The good thing is I think we probably are going to get 35 minutes from him. Always a concern is the blowouts, but this one should stay close on the road against Miami. So I do like Giannis a good amount for GPPs. I'm just prioritizing Luka Doncic, no Kristaps Porzingis for cash games. So I'm not going to get to Giannis for cash, but I like him a lot for GPPs. Bledsoe, Middleton. Again, I'm not going to go with anyone else here. So it's pretty much Giannis for me, and that's it. I like him a lot for GPPs as a pivot off of some high-owned guys. On the Miami side, it's just really tricky to get to these guys. Like Bam, Jimmy seem a little bit underpriced, but I just think there's better value on the slate. Like I like the Memphis guys a lot. I will talk about them next. I really like Vucevic with no Aaron Gordon. I love Luka with no Porzingis. So it makes it a little bit tricky for me to get to these guys. More just secondary options for me. I'm not going to get to any of the value either on this slate for Miami. So I think that really wraps up. Miami's a team I don't have a whole lot of interest in. I could see Bam and Jimmy having big games, but I just can't get to them for cash games at their respective prices. Now let's talk about my favorite game here, Memphis, Atlanta. I love this game. Jonas Valanciunas is probably my favorite play of the day here at 6.8K. In close games, 32 and 31 minutes in back-to-back games. He had a 20-20 game the last game against the Lakers. This is a great matchup against Atlanta. I think if this game stays close, we probably get 30 minutes again from him. I love JV. I love Vucevic. I love Luka. Those are the spend-ups I want to get for cash games. I have a good amount of interest in Ja Morant, too, at 7.2K. 35 and 34 minutes in close games. This is, again, one of the best possible matchups. I don't think he's going to be that high owned. I think everyone's going to go to JV. Again, I really like JV, but you could even play both. I think you can play both JV and Ja Morant in your cash game lineup if you want to. I think both are just underpriced right now for their roles. No Triple J, no Brandon Clark. They're going to have to do a lot offensively, and it's one of the best hustle spots, a 240 over under. So I love both those guys. For GPPs, if you want to pick one, you can make the argument to go Ja Morant over JV for ownership, because I think JV is going to be a lot higher owned. I also have a good amount of interest in Dylan Brooks. My concern here is he is scoring dependent, but 40 and 35 minutes back-to-back games. He's shooting the ball a ton. Again, my concern is if he's not shooting the ball well, he can have a low floor, but the minutes, the matchup, I think you've got to have interest in Dylan Brooks as well. I really like those three guys in the slate. Other options, I'm not going to get to Jang at that price. Kyle Anderson and Melton are viable, secondary plays there, 4.4K respectively. I think both play 25, 30-ish minutes. Let's talk about it. Let me first refresh Fantasy Labs, see if we got any more news. Let's see. Nothing yet. Okay, so let's talk about Atlanta. Trae Young at the top at 10.4, I really like for GPPs. I like him as a pivot off Luka for GPPs. Again, for cash games, I'm playing Luka. I think Luka is the safer play, but you gotta love the upside in Trae Young. And again, for GPPs, I really like this build of going, Trae Young, go John Morant, go Jonas Valanciunas, and go Dylan Brooks. Like, you have 5K remaining. You can, I really like that build for GPPs. This game, again, 240, right? Where is it at? 240.5 over under, the highest of the night. 2-point spread. This one should stay close. Two teams that played a fast pace, don't play a whole lot of defense. I like that build a lot for GPPs. But yeah, other guys in Atlanta here. So, we have still no Capella. We have still no Dedmon. Cam Reddish is doubtful, which is pretty, that is a boost to these other guys. He was playing about 25, 30 minutes a game. Those minutes have to go somewhere. They're going to move, where is he? Bruno Fernando into the starting lineup, I believe, right? Hold on, let me confirm that. Was it Fernando? Yeah, Bruno Fernando will start if Cam Reddish is ruled out. Reddish doubtful. I assume he's going to start. I think he's a solid punt option, but it makes it tricky when I really like JV. I really like Vucevic, so I'm not going to get to Fernando, but he would be one of the better center plays for sure. The centers I have interest in tonight are obviously those two guys that I told you I'm going to play. I like Mitchell Robinson a lot for GPPs, and a guy like Fernando I think probably gets 20 or so minutes. He is a viable punt option. He's going to be low owned, but I think he is in play. John Collins at 8.9 I think is viable. I prefer getting to Trae Young for a little bit more. I like Trae Young's upside a lot more than John Collins. John Collins has been really good, 46, 55, and 50. If you want to save money, if you can't get to Trae Young and you want a piece in Atlanta, I don't hate the idea of going to John Collins. I just prefer getting to Trae Young if I'm going to play someone on Atlanta. Can you run I think you can make it work if you run like a full game stack here of, those 5 guys, right? JV, Morant, Dylan Brooks. What does that leave you with? I wonder. 3.8K. So that is still viable here. You could run this full game stack and then just go value. Don't hate that idea. But yeah, other guys in Atlanta here. Let's see. I think Herter's solid at 5.7. He'll get 35 or so minutes. I think Hunter's okay too, but I don't know if I can get to him at 5K. He's a little bit up and down, but I think he is in play. And then a guy like Jeff Teague, if you want a complete punt, I don't hate him. I think his minutes will go up. I think we probably get maybe 25 minutes from him. He's been not great, but he's almost min-price in a good matchup. I think Jeff Teague is, in play as a punt option for sure. And I think that really does it for Atlanta. So let's talk about Dallas and Chicago now. Dallas, no Porzingis. I love Luka. He's my cash game play. His usage is through the roof with Porzingis out of there. It's, not really the best matchup, I guess, but he's going to play big minutes. He's going to have to do it all. I love Luka here. He is my cash game spend up for sure. Again, for GPPs, there's definitely pivots, right? Trae Young at a similar price, the 2 Houston guards. If you want to get to Giannis for a little bit more. Other options here, I'm not going to get to Hardaway Jr. at that price. Now, Seth Curry, this is pretty big. He was playing, 25, 35 minutes a game. If he's out, those minutes have to go somewhere. Would make DeLon Wright more viable. Jalen Brunson already out for the season. Would make J.J. Barea a viable punt option too. So, got to keep an eye on Seth Curry's status. Would make Wright and Barea more viable. DFS, he's very up and down. I don't think I want to get to him. My other main interest here is Massey Kleber, 4.4. I think he starts at center. I think he probably gets 30-plus minutes if he stays out of foul trouble. I really like Kleber at this price. I think Willie Cauley-Stein is also a viable punt option. But again, he's listed as a center. Makes it a little bit more tricky to get to him. I think he gets the backup 5 run. I think he probably gets, 15, 20 minutes. He's okay, right? He's kind of with Bruno Fernando in the range that if you want to punt center, I don't hate that idea. But I'm just getting to JV. I'm just getting to Nikola Vucevic. And I think that really does it for Dallas. Again, I love Luka. I love Massey Kleber. Two of my favorite plays of the day. If Seth Curry's out, makes DeLon Wright and J.J. Barea a lot more interesting. So got to keep an eye on that. Let's talk about Chicago now. So no Zach LaVine is huge. I think this is one of the first games he's missed this season. He's playing huge minutes, shooting the ball a ton. That is huge usage to go around. So the starting lineup, they're starting Sandaransky, Wendell Carter Jr., Otto Porter, where is he? Shaq Harrison and Denzel Valentine. So these two punt options here with Shaq Harrison and Denzel are definitely in play. Now, Shaq Harrison, he's going to start. I don't know what his minutes are going to be like because it seems like Boylan doesn't want to give him huge minutes, but also he's a good point per minute guy. So I'm a little bit torn here. If I knew Shaq Harrison was going to play 25 minutes, I would probably lock him into my lineup. But I don't think that's necessarily a guarantee. We have Otto Porter Jr. coming back too, which does worry me. Otto Porter Jr. is going to play 15 to 20 minutes. Also, Denzel Valentine going to start. He's min price too. He's a solid point per minute guy. I don't really know what the minutes are going to be like for these guys though, because they do have other options they can use, right? They have Arcidiacono off the bench. They have Otto Porter that's going to play 15 to 20 minutes. They have Kobe White off the bench who's going to play big minutes. So I'm a little bit, I think these guys are pretty solid punt options. I don't really know what to give them minutes-wise. I think, if I had to guess for Denzel and Shaq Harrison, I would probably put it at 20 to 25 minutes. And again, at min price, those are two guys that I do like a good amount as, punt options here. They can open up a lot to get you, those stars in your lineup. I'm not going to get to Arcidiacono off the bench, that's for sure. Otto Porter Jr. not going to get there, playing 15 to 20 minutes. Wendell Carter Jr. is also going to be limited, not really interested in him. The other two guys I have interested in are Sandaransky and Kobe White. Sandaransky is going to start, and this starting lineup of Sandaransky, Denzel Valentine, Shaq Harrison, he's playing with, not the best players. So Sandaransky is a guy that I do like at 5.5K, and I think he goes overlooked. I think everyone's going to go to Kobe White. Now, Kobe White has been playing better basketball for sure, but Kobe White's going to be more popular. So if you want to pivot, I don't hate the idea of going to Sandaransky. I think he plays huge minutes. He's going to have to do a lot more offensively. I do like Sandaransky a decent amount. Also like Kobe White off the bench. We probably get 30, 35-ish minutes. He's going to have to do a lot offensively. My concern here is the same thing with Dylan Brooks. As a guard, he is very scoring dependent. Now, he's been shooting the ball really well. 11 of 22, 11 of 18. 13 of 21, right? I don't know if he keeps up this level of shooting the ball this well, but with no LaVine, that is just huge usage to go around. I do like Kobe White a good amount. I think he's still in play for cash games just because of the minutes he's going to play, just because of the shot attempts. But my whole concern is he is a little bit scoring dependent. I'm not going to get to Thad Young at that price. So really, my favorite plays here in Chicago are Kobe White and Sandaransky at the top there. And then, the two punt options with Shaq Harrison and Denzel Valentine. I think both those guys will open up a lot in your lineups. Again, if I had to guess, I would say 20, 25-ish minutes, maybe a little bit more. So those are two guys I do have interest at the flat minimum. But yeah, I think that does it for Chicago. Let's move on to last game here, Pacers and the Spurs. So the Pacers are a team... Again, I really like Sabonis at that price, but I just prefer Vucevic. I prefer Jonas Valanciunas, and I like Luka a lot. So I'm not going to get to Sabonis for cash games. That doesn't make him out of play for GPPs. He's probably going to get 35, 40 minutes. We have no Aldridge, no Jakob Poeltl. He's going to be matched up, maybe with Drew Eubanks, with Trey Lyles, even maybe a little bit of Rudy Gay. Sabonis should have his way. So I do like his upside a lot for GPPs. Not going to get there for cash, though. No Oladipo. That makes the Holiday brothers more viable. Justin and Aaron Holiday. I think both probably get 25 to maybe 30 minutes. Both haven't been great. If I was going to play one, I guess it would be Aaron Holiday if he does start. So we got to keep an eye on that starting lineup. I don't think we've gotten that yet. Let's see. Have we got that? Seth Curry ruled out. Cam Reddish ruled out. Okay. Conley. Okay. All right. So with Seth Curry ruled out, I think DeLon Wright and J.J. Barea are pretty solid value plays now. Just because Dallas is pretty thin. Let's go back to Dallas really quick. Obviously, Luka's going to play big minutes, right? And then, it's probably going to be Maxi Kleber and Willie Cauley-Stein split the center minutes. I don't think they're going to play much next to each other. Hardaway will probably still get big minutes. I'm not really interested in him at that price. He probably gets 30, 35-ish minutes. So him, Luka, and the two centers will split the minutes. There's two open spots here that are going to get a lot of time, right? Like 48 minutes on each position, have to go around somewhere. So, DeLon Wright, DFS will get run, but I'm not super interested in him. He's very up and down. I would prefer getting to the guard. So DeLon Wright and JJ Barea are guys that I do have interest in now as value options. But yeah, back to the Pacers. So yeah, the two Holiday brothers are okay. I'm not overly excited about it. I think both those guys are viable with no Oladipo. Again, I do like Sabonis a good amount for GPPs. I'm not going to get to anyone else here, though, for cash. Let's talk about the Spurs. So originally, I was pretty high on the Spurs. I still do like these guys, but not as high, just, with the way that some news is broken, right? No Aaron Gordon. I really like Vucevic. DeMar DeRozan is a guy that I still like. I don't think he's going to be actually that high owned. And with no Aldridge, he does have big upside. I know the matchup's not great, but he's probably going to get 35 or so minutes. He's going to be the main catalyst in this offense. I still like DeMar DeRozan, and I'm honestly a little bit scared about fading him. I feel like I should play him, but just the way roster construction works, I can't get to him right now. So I do like DeRozan a good amount. I think he's definitely playable for cash. I like him a lot for GPPs as well. Again, that's one guy that I'm pretty scared about fading tonight, just because with no Aldridge, his usage is through the roof. I don't know. It just makes it tricky. Like, I think I slightly prefer the Memphis guys at a similar price, like John Morant, Jonas Valanciunas. I think I slightly prefer them in a really good matchup, but it's close. It's really close. Like, DeMar DeRozan is a guy that I'm very scared about fading. Other options here. So obviously I like DeMar DeRozan a lot. If you get to him, no issues at all. I think he's a pretty safe play with upside. I'm not going to get to the guards here with DeJounte Murray at that price. Trey Lyles played 40 minutes the last game. No Aldridge, no Jakob Poeltl. There's a lot of minutes to go around for these bigs. So I do like Trey Lyles a decent amount. I think I rank him slightly behind Nance and Massey Kleber at the power forward spots. But yeah, Trey Lyles is right there with Kleber, right there with Nance as guys I really like in that 4 to 5K range. I'm not going to get to Derek White or Mills. Don't think we have to do on this slate. Rudy Gay I still like him a good amount. I think he is my favorite play here in the Spurs. I think we probably get 25 to 30 minutes from him. It is Popovich, you never can really say that for certain, right? Maybe if he plays bad, he limits him to 15 minutes and that'll get popped. But that's a risk I'm willing to take with both those bigs out of the lineup. I think Rudy Gay probably gets some decent run here. And he is a guy that does have upside. So Rudy Gay is probably my preferred play here on the Spurs. Him and DeRozan are probably my top two plays. I also like Trey Lyles again. And then Drew Eubanks, there's a chance I think he starts. He started at center at the second half. He played 16 minutes. I think we probably get, if he starts at center, probably about 20 or so minutes from him. Again, we know the Pacers run big. So he's another guy that I think you can play as a viable punt option. And I think that really does it for the Spurs. All right, I'm a little out of breath because there's a lot to talk about there. Let me refresh Fantasy Subs one more time, and then we can give you guys my cash game core plays. If you have been listening, Willie Cauley-Stein available to play, right? Okay, Luka Doncic obviously will play. We knew that. If you guys are listening, this whole time, you probably know where I'm going to go here, but let's do it. Let's see, what forward I want to give you guys. So, let's go with the two centers. I really like those two centers. Again, so let's go Nikola Vucevic and Jonas Valanciunas. Both those guys can be really popular, but I love both of them. Now, other guys you can consider for GPPs for center, like Sabonis, I like a good amount. Randall's viable. Mitchell Robinson, I like him a lot for GPPs. I'm not going to get there for cash, but his minutes are going up. He's staying out of foul trouble. If he gets 25, 30 minutes against Houston, Mitchell Robinson does have upside there. And then, all right, let's go Luka Doncic again. He is I think he's the top spend up for cash games with no Kristaps Porzingis. And lastly, who else do I want to give here? Let's go Larry Nance. With no Drummond and no Tristan Thompson, we probably get at least 30 minutes from Nance. I know it's not really the best spot, but I just think he's too cheap. So there you guys go. There's a cash game core from me. You have 4.8K remaining, four players left. So hopefully that helps for cash games. Again, there's a lot of pivots, obviously, I've talked about for GPPs. But, all right, let's refresh this one more time, then let's get to questions. All right. Oh, also, if you guys enjoy this content, would appreciate if it takes 2 seconds out of your day to hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel already. Really do appreciate that. Let's do it. DeRozan possibly outscore Vucevic for sure. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm very scared about fading DeRozan. I don't have him in my cash game lineup. That scares me. That is a guy that, I'm honestly still debating about playing him. I have John Morant in right now at 7.2K with $100 left over. I could get to DeRozan. That's something I'm very much considering. It's a really close call for me right now, DeRozan and John Morant. Fournier's typical shot the ball better at home. Yeah, Fournier more of a secondary option for me. He will have to do more offensively, but I can't prioritize him on this one for cash at least. DeRozan possibly. Yep. Okay. Kleber or Gay. If you're going to make me choose, I'll go Kleber, but I like both those guys a good amount as value options. I'm going Sexton, McCollum, Valentine, Lyles, Vucevic, Luka, Porter Jr., and then a 3.3K utility and under suggestions, thinking Courtney Lee maybe. Jeff Teague, I think. Jeff Teague or those Chicago guys, Valentine, Shaq Harrison. Those are probably guys I would consider. Will Robinson get the minutes with Houston playing micro ball? So they actually just played Houston about a week ago, I think. Let's see. Where is New York? He got decent runs still. I think he got like 26 minutes. Yeah, he played 26 minutes in, last week against Houston, had 36 fantasy points. So I don't think they're going to just give him 10 minutes or so. Eubanks is starting now. Okay, yeah, so Eubanks starting. I think he is a viable punt option for sure. I got Doncic, Aaron Holiday, Harkless, Nance, JaVale, DeRozan, Kleber, and Vooch. Yeah, pretty similar to mine. I'm rolling with Luka, Kobe White, Kevin Porter, Kleber, JaVale, DeRozan, Nance, and Brooks. I like that a good amount. Eubanks starting. Yep, Eubanks, yeah, like I said, I think Eubanks probably gets at least 20 minutes. I think he is certainly in play as a punt option. Again, a guy who just brought up the utility if you need one. I think Drew Eubanks is an option for sure. Who do you play in your utility spot if you only have 6K left over? Let's see, I'll tell you. 6K. I think I would go Kobe White at 5.8. Love or Randall? I'll go Randall just because I'm playing Nance. I don't want to play both Nance and Love, but that's a close one. Daniel House, Vooch, or Dylan Brooks and Alf Payton for GPPs. Give me Brooks and Alfred Payton there. Even though I love Vooch, I'm not super high in Daniel House. Finney Smith, Willie Cauley, or Wendell Carter Jr., Shaq Harrison. Yeah, so I don't know if I get to Carter Jr. playing limited minutes. I guess DFS and Willie Cauley-Stein. Kobe, Ja, or Barrett, Randall, DK, single entry. I will go Kobe and Ja there. Lineup, no, Drew Eubanks will start. Yep. Thank you for that. Vooch and Porter, or Porter Jr., JaVale, and Warren. I will go Vooch and Porter Jr. there. Turner, W. Cauley-Stein, or Eubanks, or wait. Turner, WCJ, Wendell Carter Jr., or Eubanks or Willie Cauley-Stein. Of those four. Well, Turner, if you can get to him, right? Why? But I just it's always something I forget about. People always remind me. I just never use them. Well, I'm close to, what do I have? 83,000. Maybe I'll just let it go to 100,000, then use it. I can't remember. I can't even consider Spur, then DeRozan, and maybe Murray. We don't know who's getting popped. Very true. Like I said, anyone could get popped for sure. You never really know for certain. It's random, but what are your thoughts on Kyle Anderson and Markel Fultz? I think both those guys are secondary options. Kyle Anderson probably gets 30 minutes in a good matchup. I think he's a viable, cheap option. Markel Fultz is going to have to do more offensive with no Aaron Gordon. But those two guys I'm not going to get to for cash games. Shaq or Denzel for cash. That's almost a coin flip for me. Both are pretty similar. I think probably both get 20, maybe 25 minutes. I think both look pretty solid. So, yeah, that's basically a coin flip there for me. I like DeJounte Murray. Popovich has no other choice with Aldridge and someone else to score. Yeah, he's more of just a contrarian option, though, for me. No question, just thanks for all the info and content. Hey, thanks, Jason. Really appreciate that. Do you have to play Trey or Luka for GPPs? No, I don't think you have to. I think, you could go more mid-range. There's a lot of solid mid-range guys. You could go with one of those Houston guards. You can go Giannis. I like Giannis a lot for GPPs, guys. This game should stay close. Giannis probably gets 35 minutes. Giannis is a guy that I'm not going to play personally because you guys know I play single entry GPPs. But if I was making multiple lineups, I think I would definitely try to get Giannis in one. Let's see. Collins, Sabonis, Vucevic, or Bam Adebayo. I'll go Vuce right now. Miles Turner or Brooks. As pains at me as I don't know. I guess I got to go Dylan Brooks. Even though he's scoring dependent, I'm not super high in playing scoring dependent guys, but 35 and 40 minutes back-to-back games in a matchup against Atlanta, I got to go Dylan Brooks. That's normally not me. Normally I go with the higher floor guy, but I got to go Dylan Brooks there. Seth, I love Kyle Anderson probably the first time in DFS life. I don't know why. I mean, he probably gets 30 minutes, and he's going to play Atlanta. There's a realistic shot he could get 25, 30 fantasy points. Trae Young or Harden, I would prefer Trae Young there. Morant, Valentine, Hunter, Collins, JV, McConnell, Randall, Vucevic for GPP. Everything's fine there. You're playing TJ McConnell, right? He's min price. Yeah, I mean, I guess I probably prefer a couple of those other punt options more than TJ McConnell. Valentine or Eubanks, that's a tough one for me. I think both are pretty similar plays. I'll go Valentine, but that's almost a coin flip too. Like Valentine, Eubanks, Shaq Harrison, those are all min-price guys that are really close for me. Do you like Sabonis for GPPs, or is Randall safer? I do like Sabonis a good amount for GPPs. I think I like the upside more for Sabonis if you can get to him. Would you prefer Vooch and Shaq Harrison or DeRozan and Kleber and Cash? I think I got to go DeRozan and Kleber just because we know Kleber, if he stays out of foul trouble, I think he at least gets 30 minutes. And DeRozan seems like a really safe option. Like Shaq Harrison, sure, like he is a high usage guy, but there's a chance, he maybe only plays 20 or so minutes. So I think I got to slightly go DeRozan and Kleber there. Thoughts on Otto Porter, any upside? Not playing 15 to 20 minutes, no. Home road splits lately. True, but it's just such a good matchup. 3,500 utility. I think it's those min-price guys we've talked about, Eubanks, Valentine, Shaq Harrison. What else do we have? Is there anything else down there? Jeff Teague, too, I brought up. I think he gets more minutes. Mo Harkless is a viable punt option. No one I really like. Bruno Fernando, if you're not playing those two centers. No one I really feel like amazing about, but those are the guys I would consider as really, really cheap options. Let's see, Gay or Porter Jr. Definitely Rudy Gay for me. Morant is awful on the road. Sure, I'm not super worried about that, to be honest. Love Eubanks or Nance Lyles or Gay in the Lyles spot. I would go Nance and either Lyles or Gay. I mean, Lyles is probably safer. He's probably going to play more minutes. So if you're going for safety, I guess Nance and Lyles. But I do like Rudy Gay a good amount. Gafford or Willie Cauley-Stein. Willie Cauley-Stein for me there. DeJounte Murray or Miles Turner. I'll go DeJounte Murray. Collins, Sabonis, Vucevic, or Adebayo. Again, I'll go Vucevic there. Fournier seems solid with Gordon out. Yes, but I'm not going to get there for cash. JVO's been pretty awful road splits too. Best plays from the late slate. Late slate here. I mean, I think let's see. Well, the late slate is those last two games. I'm guessing Dallas, Chicago, and San Antonio and the Pacers. So I would probably get DeRozan in. I would probably get Luka in as my spend-ups. I would probably get, I guess, Sabonis too. And then Kobe White. I think those would be my spend-ups. And then go value with the Chicago value, with the Dallas value, with Kleber, with, there's some Spurs value there. So that's probably how I would build that late-night slate. CJ or DeRozan, I got to go DeRozan for cash for saving the money, but I do like CJ for GPP. So 31 left, who would you take? Again, it's Eubanks, it's Valentine. Eubanks, Valentine, and Shaq Harrison are the guys that I would consider there. KPG, Gantz, or Gay, Nance, Vooch, White, DeRozan, JV, DK, single entry thoughts. Okay, Kevin Porter Jr. Yeah, I like that a good amount. That's pretty similar to mine. 8 minutes to lock. Who do you have? Who do you like 4.6 here under forward? Let's see. 4.6 here under. It's probably going to be Kleber for me. Let's see. Yeah, Massey Kleber at 4.4 would be the guy I would go to. Guard for under 3,200. I mean, under 3,200, it's got to be Shaq Harrison, right? Is Denzel a guard? It's one of those two Spurs, or one of those two Chicago guys. They're both guards, yeah. Either Shaq or Denzel at min price. DJ Augustine. Yeah, DJ Augustine is in play for GPP. Sato or Fultz thoughts? I would go Sato. DK needs more live stream views. How does he only have 180 watching one Engelman Spags? Appreciate that, man. Thank you, DK. Great content. Yeah, of course. One player for 3,700. Let's see. One player, 3,700. Guess I'm not gonna get to these. I mean, Mo Harkless is okay, or it's Jeff Teague, or it's those min price guys. Yeah, that's probably the way I would go about it. Again, no one I really feel like amazing about, but House Jr. or Harkless, I'll give the edge to Harkless. Both are pretty similar. Don't really feel great about either. You can get DeRozan in your cash lineup with your core. Yeah, you can. And as I said, I have John Morant right now in my lineup, and I'm very much considering going to DeMar DeRozan. That's going to be a game-time decision for me. It really is, because let's see. What's the first game? Houston, New York, Portland, Orlando, Utah, Cleveland. Yeah, so the only guys I have in these first 3 games are Vucevic and Larry Nance. So that buys me a little bit of time. Okay. Let's see. What value benefits the most with Seth Curry being out? I think DeLon Wright and JJ Barea. Thoughts on GPP lineup? Doncic, Brooks, Kevin Porter Jr., Nance, Vucevic, Satoransky, Kleber, and Warren. Yeah, that's fine. I never get super excited about TJ Warren because he is scoring independent. With no Oladipo in a good spot, I could see going to TJ Warren there. Don't get popped, LOL. Yeah, I mean, I'm playing Rudy Gay. If I get popped, that's just me going to take up my frustrations out on Popovich. Let's see. Rank TJ Warren, Gay, DFS, THJ. For their prices, I think Rudy Gay is my favorite for his price. I don't think I'm gonna get to THJ or DFS. TJ Warren's viable, but I think Gay for the price on DraftKings. People hit that like button. Yeah, again, if you guys enjoy this content, it really does help me out if you hit that like button. Also, just on like the YouTube videos, hitting that notification bell. It helps with like the algorithm, I guess, with getting more views if more people hit that notification bell. Let's see, Hunter, Ross, or Porter Jr. for GPP. For GPP, I think I'll go Terrence Ross there. With Orlando pretty thin in a good matchup, I'll go Terrence Ross. Sabonis or Vooch, I'll go Vooch, but it's close. Let's see. I tuned Osmo for a bit to see what ownership is. Fernando, Valentine, Harkless, or House. I would go either Fernando or Valentine. $4,100 or under. If we're talking about utility, $4,100 or under. I would go either JJ Barea or Aaron Holiday probably. If Aaron or it's Justin Holiday. Wait, where's Aaron Holiday? Hold on. Yeah, so I'll go either of the Holiday brothers. Probably prefer whoever starts. And then JJ Barea with no Seth Curry. I assume he gets more minutes. You can never really know with Rick Carlisle, but I assume he probably gets at least 20 minutes. Can I play 3 Bulls? I think you can. Bruno or Eubanks? I'll go Eubanks just because he's power forward eligible. Kobe White, Fournier, Brooks. Kobe White for GPPs. I think he has the most upside. I like Adam. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Matthew. No, let's see. Lower owned, highest upside between Kobe Ja and Randall Barrett. I mean, I prefer Kobe and Ja if it's a 2v2. Can I play 3 Bulls? I think you can. Again, Satoransky, Kobe White, and those 2 min-price guys with Denzel and Shaq Harrison. Ja and DDR together. Yeah, I mean, the way my roster goes, though, I can't do it with Vucevic, Valanciunas, and Ja Morant. Or with Vucevic, Valanciunas, and Luka Doncic, I can't get to Ja and DeRozan in my lineup, so it's going to be one or the other. Again, that's going to be a game-time decision for me. Hopefully I pick right. I don't trust Lyles or Rudy. That's fine. You don't have to go with either. Again, it's Popovich. You never really know. So you don't have to play either of those guys, I don't think. There's other value, right? There's Massey Kleber, who I like. There's Larry Nance. There's those min-price Chicago guys. I feel like it might be a 400 fantasy point night for someone in DK. Yeah, it could be a pretty high-scoring night. C.D. Osman, not really going to get to him. Kobe, Brooks, Porter, Lyles, J. Val, Payton, DeRozan, Vucevic. Perfectly fine with that. Kyle Anderson and DeLon Wright or Valentine and Brooks. Let's see. Kyle Anderson and DeLon Wright or Valentine and Brooks. That's close. If you're shooting for safety, it's probably the first. If you're shooting for a little bit more risk, a little bit more upside, I think it's that second. Just because Brooks, pretty scoring dependent, but he does have huge upside. Valentine, a little bit unknown, but I think we probably at least 20 minutes. So, yeah, I think I'll go the second for GPPs, the first for cash. Kleber, DeLon Wright, I'll go Kleber there. Whiteside, I got it under 1% owned. Hey, 1% owned Whiteside, he could, at 9.6K, it just wasn't like a great value. I think he's priced accordingly, but he could get over 60. I wouldn't be super, super surprised about that. I have a lineup I really like, but I have Valentine and Eubanks in it. Is that dumb? I don't think so. I think both probably get at least 20 minutes would be my best guess. Now, Eubanks, a little bit more risky just because it's Popovich. You never know. Sorry, I'm late, guys. Here's my DK single lineup. Luka, Spider Mitchell, Shaq Harrison, Larry Nance, JVL, DJ Augustine, Sabonis, and Lyles. Again, I like that. You're taking some shots and some low-owned guys with Mitchell, with DJ Augustine. It's Whiteside playing in Orlando. The gift that keeps on giving. He's overpriced. So, what about Zizic for Cleveland? Yeah, Zizic is a punt too. Forgot about him, but he's going to back up. He's going to play the backup center. I think he probably gets 15 to 20 minutes. So, yeah, Zizic is another one of those guys in that min-price range you can take a shot on. Not dumb at all. Sometimes some of the biggest risks taking on values, taking down attorney. Yeah, exactly. There is some decent min-price guys, right? Those Chicago guys. Zizic, we just talked about. Drew Eubanks. I have Luka, White, DDR, Nance, Vooch, Valentine, Eubanks, and Joe Val. Again, that's pretty similar to mine. I like that a lot, actually, Ryan. Thanks, DK. Yeah, of course, man. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, of course. All right, let's see if we got any more news, and then I'm going to get out of here. I'm a little bit out of breath, to be honest. There was a lot of stuff to talk about in this one. Let's see. Aldridge out Monday, unlikely Tuesday. Henrich doubtful. Drew Eubanks starting. Yep, okay. So we knew all that. All right, yeah. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, it's important to do so. I'll try to keep you guys updated as we get news throughout the rest of the night. But hope you guys all have a good night. Hopefully win some money. And I will be back tomorrow to break down Tuesday's slate. DK, what do you think? I went with Mitchell, Porter Jr., Valentine, Nance, Vooch, Luka, Eubanks, and JoVal. Yep, I like that a good amount too. Mitchell, low-owned. Porter Jr., probably a little bit low-owned. Everything else is solid. If Pop pops me, I'm gonna find him. Yeah, like I said, I'm playing Rudy Gay. Full disclosure, if Rudy Gay gets like 15 minutes tonight, I'm gonna be pretty pissed. I'm not gonna lie, but I'll take that out in my video tomorrow. I'll talk about it more. But yeah, thanks again, guys. Hope you guys have a good night, and I will be see you guys tomorrow.